After walking through Hefang Street, Peifen and I decided it was time to stop and get something to eat. We visited Zhu restaurant, not far from the historic shopping area. It was a nice chance to slow down, sit together, and enjoy a real local meal before continuing our afternoon walk. We ordered several dishes, starting with Hunan-style yellow beef with red chili peppers and green garlic. Hunan food is known for bold, spicy flavor, and this dish definitely brought some heat. The plate was 200 grams and cost 79 yuan, or about $11.64. We also had sweet and sour pork, 150 grams, for 48 yuan, or about $7.07. This dish had a glossy, rich sauce with a nice balance of sweetness and tanginess. To go with it, we ordered a simple plate of stir-fried cabbage for 25 yuan, or about $3.68. Sometimes the simplest vegetable dishes in China are the ones that surprise you the most. And of course, we shared a bottle of Chinese beer. The brand is called Snow Beer, or Shuihua beer, specifically the Super X version. The Chinese on the bottle is Yang Chuang Tian Ya, which is commonly translated as bravely venture into the world, which felt like the perfect slogan for a travel day in Hangzhou. It was a small meal, but a memorable one, good food, a comfortable restaurant, and a quiet moment with Peifen before continuing our walk. After lunch, Peifen and I walked for a little while longer before heading home. This part of the area felt quieter than the main section of Hefang Street. The crowds were thinner, the pace was slower, and we found smaller side streets with plants outside the doors, traditional storefronts, and a relaxed afternoon feeling. As we walked along, we passed shops filled with pottery, teapots, carved decorations, handmade ornaments, and traditional-style display pieces. Some of them almost felt like small museums. Even if you were not buying anything, it was interesting just to look around and notice the wooden cabinets, glass display cases, old-style designs, and everyday craftsmanship.
你好，
好了，我不是茶餐厅，这么也
谢谢。
我跟你说，还有一个办法，就是把银圈的，银圈掉进去。
这算如何？no， 这是157年。
Here, Peifen is telling me that the building to the left of us has been there for over a century. It still houses the original ancient Chinese medicine house established 150 years ago. One of the places we stepped into was a small seamstress's shop. Inside, it felt more like a working studio than a regular store. There were wooden cabinets, jewelry displays, wall art, and a table covered with fabric and sewing materials. The seamstress was sitting at her work table with patterned cloth in front of her, and behind her were rows of colorful thread. It was a simple scene, but I really liked it because it showed the human side of these older shopping streets. People still working with their hands, making, repairing, and preserving small traditions. That is one of the things I enjoy about exploring places like this in Hangzhou. You can turn a corner and the whole mood changes. One minute you are surrounded by food, signs, and crowds, and the next minute you are inside a quiet shop where someone is still practicing a traditional craft.
我们所有的流程都是跟我们比的，单一我们家的。
After that, we continued down the lane and came across one more place that caught our attention, a traditional stone carving and seal engraving shop. In the window, the sign said Xi'an Chong Zhuan Ke, which means on-site seal engraving. These carved seals are sometimes called chops in English, and they have been used in China for centuries as personal signatures, artist marks, and official stamps. Inside the glass cabinets were rows of polished stones, seal blanks, and carved display pieces. Some were simple upright stones waiting to be engraved, while others were shaped into animals, mountains, and decorative scenes. The colors and textures were beautiful, creamy yellows, soft greens, reddish patterns, and darker natural stone. Each piece felt a little different, almost like it had its own personality. This was the last stop we filmed that day, and these were the last photos I took before we headed home. It was a simple ending to the afternoon, a satisfying meal, a quiet walk, and one more glimpse of traditional craftsmanship here in Hangzhou. Thanks for joining us for Hefang Street Part 2. If you enjoyed this walk through food, history, and local culture, please like, subscribe, and come along for the next visit to China.